Absolutely.
Just kidding.
So, Julia, what do you get if you combine Contra with Super Mario World and 1930s hand-drawn cartoons?
RSI?
No.
Oh.
No. You actually get CupHead.
Yeah.
So let's take a look, shall we?
Every time I see it, I just want to know more about it. It's
I just
really
love
cool.
that music. You know, it gets me every single time. I love it. Yeah, that build.
So we're joined by Maya from Studio MDHR. Great to have you with us. Thank you so much for coming in. And I'm super excited about this game, probably more than most other games, just because it's just so fresh. It feels so, which is weird because it's quite old style, but it feels so fresh and different. So what's happened since E3?
Yeah, well, thanks for having us here. We're very excited to be at GamesCom this year with a brand new demo. So we're wrapping up development right now, and as you are probably aware, CupHead is a run and gun platformer where you can run, duck, jump, shoot, parry. We also have other levels where you can play as a shmup.
Ah, okay.
Ooh. So Julia's going to talk to you in a second about the animation style, but I'm really keen to know more about how the gameplay works and what the kind of gameplay influences are on CupHead.
Right. So we were heavily inspired by games of the late 80s, early 90s of retro games. So Gunstar Heroes, Contra, Mega Man, and games of that era. Yeah.
And R-Type we were talking about earlier as well. You mentioned that as a big influence.
Yeah, so there are some levels where you do play as a shmup.
Yeah, that messes with your, you know, when you're like, you can't quite understand what's happening, but your body's just like going into like auto mode.
Very
reactive. It's like using the Force, I always think. It's that zen moment where you just
tune into it. It's too fast. You
it.
can't actually process it. It's just really, really quick, but you're in that zone. So I suppose we have to talk about the actual style of it as well, because talk about the process in creating the look of CupHead, because it's pretty unique.
Yeah, so every single frame in the game is hand-drawn with pencil and paper, and hand-inked as well on paper. So, and also all the backgrounds are watercolor paintings, and there's nearly 3 hours of custom jazz music.
Custom jazz! Yes!
Honestly, it feels like, Maya, that everything in this game, which is unusual for a video game, has been handcrafted, right? There's like real artisanship gone into this.
Right, yeah, we really wanted to maintain, be authentic to the era of the 1930s.
I mean, because obviously, like, older cartoons were a little bit weird, a little bit strange. And obviously, you know, seeing CupHead, it's very much like that. Was that kind of always the idea from the start, to kind of keep that bit
Most definitely. It was a draw for us, especially to, it was that surrealistic approach to animating where there were no boundaries. Yeah. So we really loved the idea where Felix the cat could, you know, rip off his tail and use it as a match to light something on fire. Yeah. So that was the draw to basically making very wacky, crazy bosses and enemies.
Because that sort of sounds like, when you say it like that, that sounds a little bit horrific in some sort of way, doesn't it? But it makes sense of that era. It's super weird.
Pretty resourceful as well.
I know. I mean, if you run out of matches...
And we're seeing gameplay on screen here. Now, you can totally see that old school shoot 'em up gameplay. Now, I grew up on those games and I remember them being tough and punishing. Tell us about the kind of difficulty level in CupHead.
Yeah, so it was designed to be challenging, but we also have some modern nods to make it fair. So your progression is saved, so every time that you sit down to play the game, you're not starting all over again. Yeah. You have infinite lives, and when playing in co-op, you also have the ability to revive your partner if they die off screen, if you catch them while they're floating off screen. Yeah. We have also designed the game with multiple modes. So there is easy and normal mode. Yeah. And then once you complete the game in normal mode, we unlock New Game Plus. That is finely tuned for Elite.
Which New Game Plus always sounds really friendly, but
sounds innocent,
not,
doesn't it?
Not a friendly thing. But I think, is it right that you can actually switch between the different kind of like difficulties for each level?
Yes, so you can play normal mode for one level, and if you don't have much experience on the next one, you can switch it back down to simple.
Just you get completely rottenly beaten. You're like, I'm not quite new gameplay mode yet. Not yet.
I can't wait to play it in couch co-op. That's going to be great, right?
Yes. Yes, no, definitely. It's a little more chaotic on screen.
Yeah.
It's a bit of a bullet hell. But like I said, your partner can pop in and pop out at any time by pressing any key throughout the level. The boss health, it does scale up a little bit when you're in co-op mode, but it also scales back down if you've lost your partner.
Great.
Okay.
I loved the fact that one of our biggest cheers at our E3 press briefing was for the release date of CupHead. So I need to remind everyone what that date is.
Yes, so CupHead comes out on September 29th on Xbox One, Windows 10, and Steam.
Excellent. And people here at Gamescom this week are going to be able to play it on the Xbox booth as well. So that's fantastic. Maya, thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you so much for having us.
Thank you.